Hey guys, it's Ali from Shuffle Up here. Today I have a quick little video for you guys. It's centered around the OP05 meta and why you can expect to see purple finally come back from the ashes to take a top tier meta position as we evolve into this OP05 meta. And purple has been really taking the back seat for the last few sets. Hasn't really seen any meta placement since set 1, and I'm very happy to say with OP05 coming very soon, we'll start to see purple take back that throne. And it really centers around this amazing leader card that comes out in OP05. OP05 Monkey D Luffy is bonkers. It's an enablement card like no other. Imagine having Onigashima in hand every game as a purple Kaido player. And that's what this card's leader ability does. And not only that, it frees up those 4 slots that would have been Onigashima for better broken cards that you can play using the ramp that you're guaranteed. Now, people will say that there is a high cost to playing Monkey D. Luffy, which is taking the life to activate its ability. But essentially, its ability that reads, you may take the top card of your life into your hand. So that's a resource in your hand. And if your Don is either at 0 or 3 or more, so 3 or even higher than that, you can add a Don from your deck and Don deck and put it as active. And active is very important because not even Onigashima brought that Don in active. So the ability to get that Don in active also allows you to have a Don up, even the to play like the blast breaths to protect your leader in those dire moments, or to get into a higher ramp and play that higher ramp the turn of the ramp, not a turn later. So this is an insane leader ability, and it's really the crux of why purple is going to be so dominant in the OP05 meta. Now, because we're enabled to have that ramp every turn, we have now freed up that slot that would have usually been an Onigashima must play. And now we can play some of the most broken cards from set 1, the purple cards that we used to play, and then also incorporate the new purple cards that come from OP05, the ones that they've created to help solidify and kind of give more support to the new structure decks coming out that see the awesome new purple red leaders, which you can choose 3 of. So these decks also get a super increase from the new purple cards coming, as well as the new red cards coming in OP05. But purple in itself, with some of these new broken cards coming out, gets so strong and so much more consistent. So let's talk about kind of the cards that are in the deck and why we play them and what's their purpose in the deck. And really why, as a purple player, you'd really want to play some of these cards. This is a deck list that kind of is floating around right now, similar to some of the deck lists in Japan right now. Most people are playing a lot of the set 1 stuff because that purple set 1 line is still very strong and has a lot of good removal, and then just supplementing that with some purple cards. I've added some tech options that I will tell you what can be replaced, such as Page 1 and Uta. These are just because I love playing these cards. Page 1 with ulti is always fun, gets you 2 things on the board for the price of 1. And Uta is actually a very good blocker that controls the board state mid-game. But let's start off with the low end. We have the Kurozomi Higurashi 2-drop blocker. There's no better stat line for a 2-drop blocker than 3000 power, because you can put 2 Don on that later in the game and still swing with it. It's a really good blocker. Still got 1000 counter power as well. Essentially, we need to play this at 4. If you want to be a bit more defensive, you can take out the tech options and put in the dominoes. And the dominoes act as another cheap 2-drop blocker that really helps you control the board in the game state. Gets into that late game, and this deck wants to get into the late game because that's when we do the crazy cool purple things. Sasaki is here as a placeholder. This is actually meant to be the new Zoro Doro card that's in OP05. It just hasn't been put into the sim yet. And that card is literally bonkers. Every time you attack, and if you feel its obligation, you get to ramp up as well. So that's a double ramp when you play that down. It's a pretty good stat line and can swing every turn. So it's a Sasaki that can actually attack every turn. That's amazing. So I've got this here as a placeholder for now. So when I do testing, I can kind of feel what Zoro is meant to be doing. But yeah, the new Zoro with ramp is insane and really good for this deck. We have 4 S-Drakes, straight 2k counter. Sometimes ability does come pretty clutch later on in the game when you're trying to go for game and just rip out maybe a counter from their hand if they only have 1 more counter in hand. But it's 2k. It's a very good 2k. Its stat line is good, and you want as many 2ks as possible in this deck. Talking about 2k counters, we have the Khalifa. This is actually good for hand fixing. We play it at 2. So it's a 2k counter as well, and it fixes your hand. And when you have a bad hand and you don't see your queens, essentially feels like you're playing kind of like 6 queens, even though it's not the same exactly. But because it doesn't act as a blocker as well, but it still gives you the same value of fixing your hand that Queen does, which we also play, by the way. Uses Captain Kidd, the new 5-drop from OP05. This is a cheap blocker, 5k, 6k blocker, but also it allows you to, when a Don is from your field is returned to your Don deck, add another Don from your Don deck as active. So you essentially get to do all that cool Don, -1 Don effects for free. That's insane. People have to get rid of this off the board when it's played because it's free value, and it's a great blocker too. So we play the new Monkey D. Luffy Secret, -10 Don, place all the characters at the bottom of your deck that you on your side of the field. So and you just take another turn. This allows you to just take another turn, swing with it, and get some Don back as well during that turn. So if you're at 0 Don, because you know you're going to play this, you then use your leader ability, take a life, and give yourself a Don. Then the next turn, you're going to get 2 more Don, and then you can use your leader life if you have another life left to actually get back up to 4 Don instantly. That's insane. So you're already coming back with so much Don, being able to play another card out or use that Don to pay for your defensive cards in hand to allow you to kind of finish off the game. It's a good like 2 of or 1 of even. It's not a necessity to win with this deck, but you know, by the time you're ready to win, it's just fun to play it, and he's the cool new Gear 5 Luffy, so very good. This is a 10-drop Luffy that has the same stat line and is also a 1k counter. You play it because if we get this promo, it's going to be one of the most litty promos ever, Gear 5 Luffy, why not? If you don't want to play this, then you can just play 2 more Kings. So I'll drop down to 1 Monkey D. Luffy Secret and then 4 Kings, because this King removal is actually very essential. I just like to spice up my deck list a bit more and play cards that I enjoy. But one of these is definitely going to make I guess the finishing blow much more fun. And then we got the ulti, 2k counter, 5k stat line. And if you're playing the page ones like I do from the structure deck, you get to, most of the time, if you're lucky and you draw into it, play this and this for free. And if you don't see the page one, you just use her as a 2k counter. So it's a win-win no matter what. Very good 2k counter with a good stat line. Kaido, 9-drop Kaido from the structure deck. Really good. Doesn't need an Animal Pirates leader to use this effect, unlike the other Kaido that does require an Animal Pirates effect. So this must play at 4. It's your Russia / the KO's 1/6 cost or less. And that's so good. It allows you to get control of the boards, swing for game, make your opponent really have to come back from a very, very behind position. King, also in the future format, we don't see too many swarmy boards. We see single like strong cards come out, and people like try and boost that up. Other than the new, I guess, decks that come out for the resistance. But King ends up being all the removal you need, and it's got a cost of 4 or less KO with a really good stat line. It's a little bit cheaper than the 7-cost King. If you see in your meta that there's more lore players and more swarmy players, you can play the 7-drop King, but a lot of people don't play lore because there's so many cards that are punishing to 1-drops now. So especially after OP04, when the Dressrosa decks come out. We got Queen. He's the best searcher. He's the best blocker. You play him at 4. Fixes your hand and blocks. Very good stat line for 5-drop. So he's a must play in any kind of purple deck. We played 2 page ones. This is our tech. You can swap this out for Zorodoros, for Kings, whatever you want. But I like playing the ulti page 1 combo. People just don't expect you to early on play this and get 2 things on board and 2 threats to really have to worry about. And so I play the 2 page ones because if I see an ulti in a page 1 in hand, it's a good free double play for 4. We also have, and it's also a 1k counter, so you can use it as counter. So it's not even like wasted by being in your hand. And then we play the Uta blocker with the -1 Don to rest up one of your opponents of cost of 5 or less. It just allows you to control the game, stop them from swinging as much as they want to. We can also play Douglas Bullet in this deck if we want, because Douglas Bullet has a really cool finisher effect. You can essentially drop one of these Luffys for Douglas Bullet, a really good finisher. But from the film deck, this is probably one of the top tier purple cards that we play because it has that ability to block an attack, but also on block with -1 Don, rest another card, so they have to like lose 2 attacks when they attack into Uta, which is amazing. And a good stat line for 4-drop as well. That's pretty juicy. You can play 4 if you want, but she's okay to have on the field, but you don't always need her. You kind of win without her. Trafalgar Law. This blocker is one of the craziest blockers that come out in OP04. In the structure deck, sorry, with the new red and purple leaders. And this one has a on-play effect. When you -1 Don, if your opponent has 7 cards in their hand, you trash 2 from the hand. So it's basically Isho, but for cheaper. And also can block afterwards. So that's insane. It's also a 1k counter. It's just a really good card. You got to pick up those structure deck 10s. Put that pre-order in if you haven't already, because they're going to be so amazing to play. And talking about structure deck cards, we have the Eustace Captain Kidd structure deck card, which when you -1 Don, your leader and until the start of next turn gets +1000 power, making it very easy to counter out of attacks. Forces your opponent to use more resources if they want to attack your life. And it's a 7 drop for 8000 power. That's insane in terms of stat line. And it actually ends up being very tricky to remove. So can be swinging a lot too. So it's a really good powerhouse for 7 drop. You end up using it. If you want to swap these out for 7 drop kings, you can, but I like playing them too much. They're very good. Pick up your structure deck 10s and pre-order them if you haven't already. They have some really cool purple cards in them. And Gum Gum Jet Gatling from OP03, which we play right now in this current meta before OP04 releases. And this card is just an easy 0 cost plus 3000. You just have to discard a card from your hand. It's so good. You have to play it if you don't. Like, it makes redundant Kaidos in your hand into a 3000 power counter if you need it to. Very good for your defensive capabilities. Definitely pick these up if you haven't already. They're cheap as chips right now. And they're going to be seeing a lot of play in this OP05 meta. And Blast Breaths, we play 3 of them. It's from the structure decks, they cost nothing. You're always going to give yourself an extra Don at the end of the turn by taking a life. So you need to protect whatever life you have. And this is one of the greatest ways to protect your life. A 1 drop that gives you +4000 counter power. Insane. You do lose that Don, but you have so many ways of ramping back up. It's a really good card to play. So this is basically Monkey D. Luffy in a nutshell. If you guys like it, you know, this is kind of like how I built mine around. But you can build with just the OP05 purple cards that come out during that release. There are deck lists that just play specifically structure deck and OP05, and they do very well with this Monkey D. Luffy leader, because this leader's ability is so cracked. Any purple cards that you put in a deck with this leader is going to do well. You're ramping every turn no matter what. Getting that advantage. Even if, you know, you're taking your own life, you're just generating so much advantage that it doesn't matter if you give your opponent a lead, because you are just literally taking it away very soon using some of the most broken cards in One Piece's history. So I find that quite amazing. All right, let's go into a quick game and see how this deck stacks up against the meta. Looks like we have a... I'll just mulligan that. That's cool. All right, that's a better hand. So turn 2, we get to play this, put some defensive pressure. Mirror matches are very interesting. Every life you have counts, and taking life is sometimes a bad idea, but in this case it's not. I think we have enough to put the pressure on. He played the page 1, we'll just take that life, get the life, go into something amazing, use that card action, and probably just chuck away the... what's not needed in this hand right now? Probably another Chrysum. And we'll tack into life. You can choose to take it and use the draw, or counter out of it to give himself more time. We're in a really good position right now. So counters out. Plays poorly to get rid of a... Poorly's not a bad card actually, now that I think about it, because it allows you to on play 2 add 1 Don card from your Don deck instead as active. And then if you have 8 more in play, that's actually really good. Paulie's is going to be really good. I thought he was specific for Galilea, but he can be used in all purple decks. That's really right. Really a good ramp. He can actually be a good representation of Zoro Toro. Okay, a blocker. And we can just like 1k out of it if we need to. His hand is not big enough to be able to utilize that. No blocker. And the game is on. He ramped faster than me. Good on him. 6. But I also have bigger brain. Take the life. That's a really good card to pick. Guess we can use that to kind of get in a bit more damage. And to be honest, we're not blocking. We're just gonna put a lot more pressure on. They're at 10 Don. It's too scary for us to. We were behind. Okay, we lost the Kaido, but we still have one more Kaido. And another king if we need to use it for a cost of 4 or less, which is their law blocker. Let's see what he does this turn before we try to. Ooh, that's pretty good play. And we'll just 2k out. And we'll just 2k out. And see if he keeps his blockers up and keeps them up. Okay, not bad, not bad. So what we'll do now is, I think we'll Kaido rush it. Get rid of the queen and the law by trying to target the poorly. Right, we'll take the life. We'll play the Kaido. Get rid of the queen. Attack into poorly. He'll either have to block it or lose the poorly. He lost the poorly. Now the real pressure comes into the game. Counter out. Yep. Then we'll counter out here. Keep our one blocker up, or should we put more pressure? That's the question. I think it's a good opportunity to maybe put in that little bit more pressure, even though we leave ourselves open. Because I do have the counter power to get out of at least one attack. Unless he's just a smart person and dons up both his law and his Luffy now and just swings both. Like, that's pretty much game. But most people don't underthink that. Oh, damn. Speak of the devil. This guy bloody underthinked it. We know there's no blocker, but we'll definitely be using this, trashing 3,000, 8,000, because we need. So we actually need to use our whole hand here to protect. But it means we don't lose, which is amazing. And now he has no chance to win next round, I don't think. He probably. Well, how the hell does this guy have that many counters in 4 cards? But sometimes it happens, mate. Just put that extra Don on. That's all you have to do. Oh, he's trying to clear board now. I can't stop it. So it's got 2 blockers now. Ooh, Uta. You take the life, get the extra Don. Now we have 7 Don. This makes the attacks big boys. I might just not use that Don. Keep it open for another blocker just to mess around with them. Attack. You will either have to block or counter out. Okay, he'll take. God damn, that's a tempting little morsel. 5 cards in hand. If they're all counters, then I'm pretty much stuffed. Woo! Got it. Monkey Luffy swinging in for game. We were able to get there in the end. What a play. What a great game. Good mirror match. See if we can get a deck other than Luffy. Ooh, Enel. This is a very hard matchup. Let's see how we go. This is like the top tier matchup of OP05. Or Mull. Not enough 2k counters in hand. That's a little bit better. End turn. We actually do want to go first, by the way, with Monkey D. Luffy. His ability gets value with going first. You're allowed to swing first as well. That puts the pressure on. So we just use the ability straight away. In this situation, we can attack, put some pressure on. And you're able to play a 4-drop here, but we don't have any of our cool 4-drops like the Uta or the page 1. We do have this, which essentially does the same thing that Queen does. Let's play it. And it's only when attacking though, so we'll use that next turn. It's a good way to fix the hand. And let's see how he goes now. 6,000 into 5,000, no blocks, but we'll use a 2k count out of it. It's really hard because this guy doesn't care about his life. He's a scummy little Enel player. And we'll use the card action to minus Don. Draw 2, fix our hand. We'll drop the... this is a hard choice again. We'll probably drop the extra card. We don't need it for this matchup, I don't think. I might regret that, but we play 4 cards. We'll probably see another one. And we'll play the blocker out, actually. Yeah, we'll play the blocker out. And we'll start swinging. He wants me to take his life. He's got triggers galore. And he has the ability to survive for 1 extra time you kill him. Like, see? And then, yeah, you can attack without... Oh, he got a trigger. He's thinking on it. That's the Enel way. And he did it. What is it? What's he bringing? Oh, okay, yeah. This one on trash 2 cards from your hand and then add an extra life card. So it's a good way of staying alive. We'll just attack so we can get the fix. We don't care about doing the damage. Yeah, why not? He doesn't even have to count out of it. And then we'll enter in there. This matchup is a tricky one because the ability for Enel to just come out of nowhere and just take his own life and then do that. It's insane. We want to block it. And then yeah, that ability, when your life hits 0, you may add a top card of your deck to your life, then discard 1 card from your hand. That's so stupid. So I need him to be on like 1 life, and I have to have so many cards before it's useful. But he's not got too much card draw at the moment, which is interesting. It does give me some kind of hope. Let's take the life. Get the Don. Oh, pretty cool card. Very good 8 drop to play, 10 drop to play next turn. We'll start playing some cards that control the board. Keep 2 Don up. We don't really need 2 Don, but we'll just keep it up in case, and kind of bluff a double blast breath or a thunder bagua. Oh, he just passed it back to us. He must have counters in hand. I don't know. We'll drop the 10 drop Luffy. Attack. I'll just give it back to him. He probably is trying to build up hand power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know what's going on in his head at the moment. Maybe. Okay. Sharply Lin. Do I want to grant the opponent 1 life? Or do I want to not? Let's grant the opponent 1 life. It's kind of essentially a free draw for an NL player to do that, but he had a Nakira arrow. No, he didn't. He had the Thunderbolt. Just easy removal, especially when you want to take the life that you just gained. No blocker, 2k counter. We have so many 2k counters. It's not even a problem anymore. And then no blocker, 1k counter. No, we don't. So we just Sasaki 2k counter out of that. And then it's our turn again. We'll drop a... He has no blockers really, but he does get an extra turn. So if we can get the rush, it's going to be worth... let's get rid of... that would be a dream, but we'll just get rid of Perifero. We get the rush on the Kaido, which is really cool. So essentially we can get the 2 hits in if we're lucky. I'll keep that Don up. Do we want to ramp back up? Let's ramp back up. Okay. So I do have this and then 2 blast breaths. Let's see what we can do in terms of taking a card out of his hand from counter power. And then we'll swing at his life and pressure him into either countering out or taking it. And then now he essentially gets to survive 1 turn, which is insane. And then we can attack him again. It's like a free draw, essentially. In turn. But what's important is that your life has to hit 0. So if he can't get another life card into his life by next turn, and he can't seal the game. Oh god, just speak of the devil. What did he KO though? Oh, you don't have to KO to up to 1. Wow. Oh wow. This is what I mean. Like, there's got these sneaky ways of getting life, and it kind of pains me a little bit. So we'll go no blocker here, but we'll just blast breath for 9,000 and then just 1k out, and then that's it. It's kind of painful for them because they're now playing a catch-up game, but they've done such a great job. We'll take the extra life and see what we get. Not the best, still a blocker though, but at this point we just load up our units and swing. They have no blocker on field, so he gets to have 1 life back. I still have pretty high damage in the other 2. There's no way he counters out of these. He's got no Don up, no active Don. I think we win against Enel, luckily, because Enel has some slide tricks up your sleeve, but with the big boys that you can drop down, and if your opponent doesn't do anything, oh my god. Amazing. So much counter power there. Okay. That was impressive. That's actually very impressive. Amazing. I'm just actually impressed by that. And then we'll just get rid of one of the lethal damage. That is actually quite a lot of power. I just needed to put a few more Dons there. That's on me for underestimating an Enel player with the amount of counters they had in their hand. One more Don on Luffy would have just sealed the deal there. I was just trying to play it safe and keep a Don open for Blast Breath. I do have a lot of counter power, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to save me from lethal. Painful, very painful. But that was the correct way to play it. I just kind of like shut the bed on that one. 19,000. Look, we'll try it anyway. We'll see what happens. 17,000 counter, and he was still able to top that. God damn, Yamato. Did 2 things amazingly. Gave him that extra life on top so he could start to use his ability again, and then just gave him a 9k beat stick as well. That is a very, very scary matchup. Enel's also going to be really, really good going into OP05. That was kind of like an example of why you got to respect the Enel ability. I think if we were luckier or smarter and put all our Don and our leader and just assume that 10k would be enough, we would have done better. Or even as like 11k and 12k would have been enough to win. But in this situation, we did the best we can. I believe Enel's beatable, but it has so many awesome tricks up its sleeve. People be wary of Enel from OP05. He is very much a sneaky winner with all those triggers, with all those extra abilities. He's going to be a hard matchup for the Luffy players, especially. So expect the mirrors, expect Enels, and expect like a few cards from a few decks from OP04 to also be prevalent in OP5 meta. If you guys like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This has been Alex from Shuffle Up, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Yeah.